I'm Daphne Blake.
And I'm Patrick Bateman.
Coming up on today's show, we take a look at some Halloween segments,
including a short film and some content from our Halloween Horror Nights Media Night.
Stay tuned. You're watching War TV. Hey Vito, today is October 31st.
Happy Halloween. We hope you had fun at homecoming this weekend.
We have a fun show prepared for you guys. If you're curious about today's announcements, please go to our Instagram @WarTV to watch our main minute.
To start off our Halloween content, we have a suspenseful short film.
Let's check it out. Back in September, War TV was invited to Halloween Horror Nights High School Media Night.
Our very own Blake Herman and Matthew Manarino attended and were allowed a camera in the park, allowing them to get quality footage to use for our broadcast.
We have two segments for you today. First up, we have Delaney Warner with the results for OHS favorite HHN house, along with a rundown on each.
Then reporter Matthew Manarino has a look into how Halloween Horror Nights Orlando is made.
On our Instagram, you guys told us which Halloween Horror Nights house was your favorite this year. Before I announce the winner, let's start from the beginning. Our first match was between Fiesta de Chupacabras and Bugs Eaten Alive. Bugs was eliminated with 45% of the votes. There are not many words that describe this house better than just plain gross. Filled with spiders, roaches, and other creepy crawlies, Bugs Eaten Alive tells us of the story of pest control went wrong when it was believed that enlarging bugs would make them easier to kill. Next we had Halloween and Descendants of Destruction. You guys decided to kick Descendants of Destruction out early, despite it being a pretty scary house. Taking place in the subways of New York City, this house involves a plethora of deformed monsters and New York residents. From subway cars to underground caverns, this house really gives off the New York atmosphere. Spirits of the Coven and Dead Man's Pier faced off next, with Dead Man's Pier coming out on top. Spirits of the Coven was unfortunately eliminated, a house set in 1920 Salem, with witches and disturbed flappers around every corner. It's the perfect representation of your classic witch. Then we had HELLBLOCK Horror in the weekend. HELLBLOCK Horror lost with only 32 votes out of over 100. In this house, you are taken through a prison full of monsters who have broken out of their cells. With a wide variety of creatures grabbing you through their cells, this house is definitely not one for the weak. And finally, the Horrors of Blumhouse and Legends Collide faced off with the Horrors of Blumhouse losing by just 2 votes. Made up of 2 houses based off the movies Freaky and The Black Phone, they definitely encapsulate the feeling of each film. If you have not already, make sure to watch these 2 movies to be able to appreciate both houses more. In our second round, we start off with Fiesta de Chupacabra and Halloween. Halloween came out on top once again, kicking Fiesta de Chupacabras out of the running. In this house, a small Latin American town gets invaded by the famous goat-eater legend, the Chupacabra. Filled with bright lights and celebrations, this terrifying monster can surprise you around every corner when you least expect it. Next, Legends Collide in the weekend battled it out with Legends Collide falling short 50 votes. Another take on Universal's classic monsters, the Mummy, Wolfman, and Dracula all butt heads in this house. For classic horror lovers, this house is perfect for you. At the end of the house, you'll get to see who came out on top, and who came out headless. From there, the weekend carried on to face off with Dead Man's Pier, ending with Dead Man's Pier getting kicked off the bracket. Located in a small fisherman's town, this house is executed amazingly. You can feel that cold in the ocean throughout the house, making it very realistic. There's a variety of characters, all sure to send a shiver down your spine. Finally, Halloween and The Weeknd were our last match. The Weeknd is an iconic artist in the music industry and even more iconic Halloween Horror Nights house. Based off of several of his darker music videos, it features his songs Save Your Tears, Blinding Lights, After Hours, In Your Eyes, and Too Late. On the other hand, Halloween is based off of one of the most famous horror movies ever, Halloween. Michael Myers, fresh out of the mental hospital, set off to kill the last of his family, Laurie Strode. His house perfectly encapsulates the essence of Michael Myers, the way he moves quietly and often just stands and stares. You'll feel like you're a part of the movie. Halloween won the poll by 10 votes, making it Oviedo's favorite Halloween Horror Nights house.
Halloween Horror Nights has become a staple of Central Florida's Halloween season, and it's easy to see why. With a consistent lineup of 10 houses and 5 scare zones, all filled to the brim with intricate scares and detailed designs, HHN Orlando manages to frighten and amaze each and every year. But considering its massive size, it's easy to wonder, how do they manage to make all of this fresh in just 1 year?
So the creative process for Halloween Horror Nights is about an 18-month calendar year. We start 6 months into the previous year, looking at the overall concepts and storylines for haunted houses, scare zones, and some of the shows. Most of the time we work through the summer talking to different types of brands on which ones might be associated and in next year's event. And then we actually work on what we call original content, which is the house designs and stories that we create that become the haunted houses that you see in the event.
With original content, Universal comes up with the story, the scares, and the designs all on their own. But with IPs, or intellectual properties, Universal's process is a bit more complicated.
So we understand the story, we research in number of books, depending on what the IP is associated with, and then we actually work with the owners to kind of decide what is the best character, what is the best environment to bring to life in a live walkthrough haunted house.
But houses and scare zones aren't all the event has to offer. HHN also offers a selection of shows.
Well, shows to us within this event are what we call the treat to the trick. Most haunted houses and most scare zones are meant to deliver the scares and the thrills, but the shows are meant to give you the fun.
Besides the annual dance show, where Universal works with several dance troupes and stunt performers, HHN's most colorful addition in recent years is their Lagoon show.
It actually works with a group, a production company out of the West Coast called Thinkwell, and they help create a lot of the video animation. We do all the soundtrack work, we give them, as that kind of is the story, and they do a lot of animation that becomes the videos that play on projected buildings and on water screens that happen within the park.
While all of these responsibilities may seem overwhelming, Universal, like clockwork, manages to deliver on them year after year. So next time you go to Halloween Horror Nights, keep in mind the massive amounts of work and talent that goes into bringing it to life. This is Matthew Manarino reporting.
That's all we have for you today, Oviedo.
No matter what you do, make sure to stay safe tonight. I'll be off solving a mystery.
And I've got to go return some videotapes. And as always, go
Go
Lions.
Lions.